welcome back, watch fans. Tonight's breaking story is Audemars Piguet and what is happening. This is actually a follow-up story. Let me just actually pull this up. Why does this screen not come up here? This is a follow-up to what is happening at AP, Audemars Piguet. And let's face it, AP, Audemars Piguet is right now becoming, I believe, an unstoppable juggernaut in the watch game. What they are doing in terms of design, in terms of innovation, in terms of the collaborations with, again, I'm not a fan of their celebrity, whatever you want to call them, B-listers, but it's actually it's innovative. It's very interesting. The watches are beautiful, and they're basically leaving their peers in the dust. By peers, we're talking about Patek Philippe, Vacheron. I think Patek Philippe especially. I mean, really, Patek is, the Nautilus looks almost quaint. I mean, it looks so old-fashioned compared to the new Royal Oaks. I mean, all the releases in the Nautilus line are really, they just can't compare. They can't hold a candle to AP. And you know what? Amazingly, the new Patek, the modern Patek watches are actually making the code 1159 look good. And that's incredible. Why? Well, I mean, Patek is, the watches, the new modern watches are just, I think, a little bit too big. And, these guys, at least, look, if somebody's going to wear a watch on a straps, a semi-dress watch, if you want to call it, this is the way to go. Like, Patek can't make up their mind. Is it a dress watch? Is it a sports watch? The straps or whatever? These guys, they understand. AP really understands. And by the way, I actually despise the company. I hate everything about them. But they make great watches. I mean, I'm not saying quality. I know some of them have had issues. I know the chronograph has had issues, et cetera, et cetera. But you got to understand where the puck is heading. Wayne Gretzky was the greatest hockey player for one reason. They asked him, "What's your secret, Wayne?" And he said, "Look, I go. Most hockey players, they chase after. They're chasing the puck like a dog, running after the puck. Me, on the other hand, I go where I know the puck is heading." And if you want to know where the watch game is going to be 3 years from now, you got to watch AP. These guys are like really outpacing everybody. I think right now it's AP, Vacheron overseas, and Patek. The Vacheron is innovating in terms of the ability to interchange the straps, bracelets. That's incredible. They have some pretty cool watches, a little too big. So again, a lot of these guys, they need to really work on the dimensions. But look, the thing with Patek, for example, is they're doing these kind of dress watches and they're just too big. It's if I'm going to go with that, why not just go with the AP, which is really a modern look? I mean, this is the modern look. It's a modern case. The case actually, it's quite beautiful. I mean, I think they're going to probably fine tune a little bit. I said that before. Now look what they do with the bracelet, the strap. Excuse me. They get this nice strap. I think it's a sailcloth, so probably if it gets wet or water, it might be either waterproof or something. But basically, it dries off quickly, or the water doesn't absorb. But look, the green, the blue, it matches. Everything matches. You can interchange probably. They're going to be doing some incredible things. And they're just getting started with this 1159 stuff. I think the best is yet to come in the 1159 range. Again, it takes these guys sometimes a while to get going. Giancarlo, I agree with you. Let's answer a couple of questions from the punters in the chat. Sorry, I ignored you guys. Hang on a second. Look, I'm sorry. I'm kind of new to all this stuff still with the live on YouTube. Panelists are welcome. By the way, we do have, what does it say? What was I say? Yeah, okay. So panelists are welcome to pop in. Watch Lux, thank you for joining. The Baron Watch Lux. We got the meatball walking around the streets, gun broadcast. You know what? I might be doing that. I might actually do that. Maybe later in the month. I might be in Italy later in the month. So very possible. Very possible. The problem is, what am I going to take? Like when traveling, I really, like what watches do I take? Again, Europe. Yeah, I don't know, like I know that people say Europe dangerous. Here's the thing. I mean, I kind of I like to kind of I don't want to bring any heavy hitter watches. Or I should say this. Look, when traveling, if I'm wearing a watch, a lot of times things get scratched or just handling luggage or whatever because the servants are away and I gotta handle the luggage myself. And things. I mean, like almost every time something gets scratched. Either like I had a crystal scratched. I had the bracelet scratch. Just with the luggage, the stupid luggage stuff. The thing that pops up, whatever. You're moving things out, in, out. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna. I'll probably bring the Ellipse because I do need to get a strap change, and the strap is at Camille Fournier. So I'm going to be bringing the Ellipse, which is it's not really a good travel watch. It's kind of it really is a dress watch, the white gold one. But yeah. So look. Here's the thing. Look, where is AP heading? This is really very interesting what these guys are doing. And here's why I'm focusing on the topic. Why am I focusing on it? Because the direction that AP is going to affect all of your collections. That's right. My collection, everybody's collection. All the watches we all own today, if we have collections, the valuations, the prices are going to be affected by what AP is going to be doing the next couple of years. Why is that? Well, because as they release better and better, sexier watches, everything else looks quaint. It looks antiquated. It looks goofy. Can you say the Nautilus is sexy? Is the Patek Philippe Nautilus sexy? I don't think it is anymore. I don't think it is. It's kind of a little bit of a kitschy design, and especially compared to the shape of, let's say, the Royal Oak, it just doesn't compare. It just doesn't. And again, the thing with the AP, look at this. I mean, it's just it's the angles. And again, right now, everybody wants to see kind of like, and here's what's interesting. People want to see either geometric type of forms, like these angles, which the Royal Oak has, or kind of round, more organic forms like the 1159. So these guys have hedged their bet. I don't think anybody has actually mentioned that, but that basically AP has hedged their bet. So the two main platforms for AP are going to be, the kind of the aggressive shape of the Royal Oak, and the kind of more the round classic, shape of the 1159. Pretty interesting. I'm sure. Look, I just picked up on this, but I think a lot of people are going to realize this very soon. So again, the 1159 is going to evolve. They got the collaborations and everything. So it's interesting. It's very interesting. Now here is the John Mayer, which it's kind of a bullshit watch, and I think that it's kind of a bit of a disaster. Let's take a look at this. So they teamed up with this tomato can, John Mayer, who's basically a has-been. At this point, he's basically a D-list musician. This, Baron, this is live. This is live. This is live. Actually, Duke Neo. Everything here is live. 100% live. So yeah. By the way, did anybody tune in to the video, or actually say the live stream of the watch sale? Did anybody tune in for that? Let me know your thoughts, comments, input, whatever, on the watch sale. We had some great watches. Everything from, great prices on the AP, the Royal Oak. You had a 41 millimeter for under retail, which is shocking. And, the great white dial, which looks amazing on that watch. And we had a bunch of Rolex. I mean, everything you want. You know, speaking of John Mayer, he had the John Mayer. It was like 72 grand, I think, the green dial. Now, here's the thing. Speaking of John Mayer, so what's the problem with this watch that he did, this perpetual calendar? You know, it's actually interesting that their celebrity collaborations have been with, they got John Mayer, they got this guy Travis Scott, I think is his name now. I'm really not familiar with both of them. I'm not familiar with either. I mean, actually, I know John Mayer. I think he had a song in the 90s. I vaguely remember, or something like that. But I don't know any of his other music. I think there was one song he was kind of famous for. But if I were to compare, I think Travis Scott was a much more innovative, much more interesting watch than this piece of shit from John Mayer. I mean, this thing is boring. There's no imagination. Worst of all, it's hard to read the dial. It's very hard to read the dial because the blue little white specks. Look, when you have a perpetual calendar dial, if you get a perpetual calendar dial, you got to keep it, you got to make it easy to read because there's a lot of information on it. And this tomato can, who's allegedly, he's supposed to be this, watch expert, this horologist. I mean, he might know about whores. He doesn't know about horology, though, okay? So John Mayer really ruined this watch, absolutely destroyed it. This dial is a disaster. I think it'll probably sell to, some knuckleheads, some window lickers. I mean, this guy's not even relevant. The guy is not relevant. I mean, Travis Scott, I understand he's like a rap guy, and he's, there's young people who listen to this stuff. John Mayer is, I don't think he's had a hit in 20 years. I mean, literally in 20 years. I think his last hit was in the early 2000s. I mean, it's ridiculous. Now, let's take a look at this. Now, this is something they released earlier for women, but again, very innovative. It's a tourbillon. The diamonds in the tourbillon. Look at the shape. And why is this important? Why? Because this tells you that they are very open to new stuff. So I think, again, a lot of these things are essentially just sort of like a placeholder for things they're going to be doing. Yeah. Look, I think it's a placeholder. This watch is a placeholder for, other like design innovations they're going to be doing. So look, what I think is going to happen is that these guys are just getting further and further away from Rolex, from Vacheron. Rolex is not even in the game. I mean, Rolex is so conservative. Rolex is so dull. I mean, they make these minor changes. These guys are taking risks. By the way, these are big risks. Nobody else is taking risks like this. I mean, like this Tamara, whatever his name is, this tourbillon Tamara Ralph, this chick's watch. I mean, that is a ballsy thing to make. Okay. And this is like R&D, research and development, right? Like, they may or may not have a hit with this, but in terms of making the kind of that curved case, in terms of other things, in terms of making watches for women, at some point, it's like you keep striking at the ball. At some point, you're going to connect and you're going to have a grand slam. And Patek doesn't have that. They don't have anything. They don't have anything that could be a potential grand slam. These guys do. I think in a year or two, the 1159, they will have a grand slam. I mean, I'm willing to make a bet that the 1159 in a year or two, they're going to have, a dial that's just really going to work. It's just going to connect with the ball, and they're going to knock it out of the park. Now, what about the Royal Oak, the basic? I mean, they just keep doing new and more exciting stuff. Okay, so Baron Snoo says the watch sale was good. I'll definitely look to buy once I've saved up a Baron. The Baron should have millions, liquid for millions. Yeah, these guys have really good prices. So again, I bought from them. Other guys in the audience have bought from them. JJ, other experts, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, people who who know, right? I mean, people who don't want to pay retail, who want to get a deal. Look, I believe that not only, listen, it's very important. Obviously, you want to get the right watch, okay? And by the right watch, I mean, you want to go with the right brand, the right model, the right dial. You got all those things. And then you got to get it at the right price, because if you're one of these tomato cans that, pays over retail, you're looking the windows, you're chasing, you're gonna get hurt. Okay, you're gonna get hurt. Now, sometimes you might want to pay a little bit over retail because, look, time is money, right? Time is money. Sometimes, you just want that watch, and instead of waiting a year, having that uncertainty, look, and especially, look, if time is money. If your money is worth a lot, right? Like, look, a guy who's making $1,000 an hour is very different than a guy who's making $20 or $100 an hour. It's a world of difference. The guy who's making $1,000 an hour or more, that guy, he's willing to pay a couple of grand over retail. Let's say he's willing to pay, $5,000 or even $10,000 over retail for, let's call it a day date, a special day date, or a Royal Oak, perpetual, whatever it is, right? Because he figures, hey, shit, why should he waste time looking and looking and looking and looking? Well, he'll just pay a little bit of money and get the watch now, and that's it, and be done, and not have to deal with bullshit. Like, have to, the other thing is this, with these degenerates, this AP, what they're doing is this, the 1159 line, everybody knows, they use that basically as bait. So you got to buy one of these if you want to get the, they basically use this as sort of like a way to, that's kind of their cash cow, or I think it's going to be their cash cow, to basically have you buy a couple of these, and then they'll say, well, if you buy, you purchase X, then you get the good stuff, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They keep stringing you along. They jerk you off, right? So if you do that, the watch you really want is really going to end up costing you a lot more, right? Like, because you're going to be stuck with a bunch of shitters. You're going to have to buy a bunch of shitters to get to the real watch. So why not just pay it in advance? That's kind of the way it really works. Now, let me just see something here. Yeah. So why do I think this stuff is important? I'm concerned. I'm really concerned because, I have a few Pateks, right? I'm not, it's like I have like, what is it? I have two decent, like, let's call it complications, right? Which are relatively classic. I have like three. I have three. I have three vintage watches, three vintage Pateks, which are okay, like ellipses. The problem I'm concerned about is if these guys really surpass Patek, and they become really super hot, the whole Patek brand is going to weaken, and that'll impact prices. It's just going to push everything down. So if the modern Patek fails, and I think they're failing, in my opinion, they are failing. If modern Patek fails, it's going to be bad for the secondary market in vintage Patek. I mean, I know it's not a direct correlation, but it's a pretty good correlation. So yeah, I think that if modern Patek starts to fail, it's gonna have a trickle down negative effect on vintage Patek. Same thing with Vacheron, whatever, right? Because again, if these guys really push so far ahead that they make everything else look like crap, it's going to affect prices. So, you got to keep, it's something just to keep your eye on. It's not like an immediate thing. It's not an immediate threat. Exactly. This guy's a real poet. Baron Antarctica Mysteries, Peace, Love, and Rolex. Yeah, it's quite interesting. Again, nobody else is doing the collaborations like they are with this guy Travis Scott or whatever. I mean, look, they're really appealing, I guess, they're really hitting across all demographics, right? Like Travis Scott, I think his audience is I'm assuming they're kids. They're like under 30. They got to be under 30. Like they got to be like what, Gen, not even millennials, like Gen whatever, I don't know, Z or something. So they're like, the Travis Scott thing is, I mean, who listens to this? It's got to be like 25-year-old kids. And he's a black guy. He's a rap guy, but I think a lot of his market is, you know, a sort of cross market. He's like, you know, white, black. Well, rap is like the rap music or hip hop, whatever you want to call it, is it's probably 60-40. So it's not like, you know, 90-10, 60-40. Whereas John Mayer is, you know, mostly a white market, like older. It's like a boom. I don't want to say it's boomers, but it's like, you know, probably his market, John Mayer's market, is like 50-year-olds, 45, 50, no, 50-year-olds. John Mayer is an old guy. His market is middle-aged white people. I don't think there are any black people who listen to John Mayer. Why keep using diamonds? Because diamonds are cool. Diamonds are magical. I mean, that's the reality. I don't know if you get it or not. Diamonds are actually magical, you know? Why do you think you got to give a woman a diamond to get engaged? What? I mean, it's got a magical power. She'll say yes. If the diamond is big enough, she'll say yes. Seriously. I'm pretty sure if the diamond is big enough, any woman will say yes. I mean, you could just walk around with a fake diamond and, you know, with a little Tiffany box you buy on eBay down the street and, you know, propose to every girl. I mean, at some point, you know, it's going to work. No, it's a cool combination. Now, on the bezel, I'm not that sure about. It's a little bit feminine. That's the thing. It's a little bit too feminine. If they just kept it on the dial, I think it'd be okay. That's kind of what I think. But it is a beautiful watch. Then they also did this incredible thing. Here's the incredible thing they did. And we talked about this yesterday, the sand gold. You know, why is it so amazing? What is so amazing about a new shade of gold? What's so amazing is all of a sudden now they have a new category because nobody else has this shade of gold. Do you get it? Nobody else has it. So that is completely unique. You're not comparing white gold to white gold, yellow gold to yellow gold, rose to rose, you know? Oh, Meatball, this name actually works for you. Meatball, maybe this is the right name for you. You were looking at a Patek billboard and you bought a tag. Oof. What watch was on the billboard? What watch? But I'll tell you what, maybe you won't regret it because I think, again, the AP stuff is really moving past. It's really moving past everybody. Oh, so what does that mean also? So for Royal Oak, I think it's a positive because all these new designs are getting more and more people interested in the brand. More and more people are getting into it. So what that will do is it will lift prices of vintage APs, like the one I have, the Royal Oak that I have, which is like a 1990s model. Those prices are going to get lifted. They're going to get support because because of the new stuff that's getting everybody excited. TM, the AP watches aren't supposed to be ghetto banged out rappers watches. They have excellent. They don't need. No, okay. So wait. So there's a big difference. Okay, you're talking about a huge difference. You're talking about guys who do like what do they call bust down? The bust down. I guess that's what the kids called, where the whole watch is covered with diamonds, and that is tacky. Okay, especially if it's aftermarket, because when it's a factory, when even if AP did a factory bracelet, it might be a little too much, but they will do it with taste. They're going to make sure everything lines up properly. But when these guys do the aftermarket thing, they cover the entire dial. It looks very tacky. Look, the thing with diamonds, the thing with gold, it's all about, the right measure. What's that old song? You got to be cruel to be kind in the right measure. What's that 80s song? So yeah, this watch does it, I believe, in the right measure. So just the bezel, just the markers. Now again, if they just had only the hour markers, I think it would be much better. I think it would actually be much better, because here again, I'm saying it looks a little bit feminine. Like, I would not buy this watch. Well, if somebody gave it to me, I would wear it, but I wouldn't buy it. Tourbillon for me doesn't do anything anyway, but I wouldn't buy this. But if it was just, hang on a second, I'll pull this up. I will pull this up. They had a anniversary watch. Where is this? It's probably on here. Royal Oak. Let's take a look. Wait. Okay, Royal Oak. They had an amazing anniversary watch, which was white gold, ice blue dial with Baguette markers, and that watch is amazing. It's an amazing watch. Where is it? See, this is garbage. Like, because they're making the dial too messy with these. Where is this white gold baguettes? White gold baguettes. Okay, look at this. So, I mean, this is too much, I think. I mean, it does, you know what? I gotta say, it does look pretty cool. I mean, this is a pretty cool looking watch, to be honest. I mean, look at the way the gold, I mean, would I wear this? I mean, probably not. But I mean, the price of this has got to be, I don't know what. Yeah, I don't even know what the price is. It's got to be like, I think the price could be 7 figures. For sure, it's got to be 7 figures. I mean, but look at the way the polished gold, the polished rose. You got that warm polished rose with the diamonds. I think it looks amazing. And it looks like garbage though. The yellow, I don't know. I mean, this looks tacky. This is tacky. I mean, this thing looks really tacky. Why? I think it's because, let me see. Why? Okay, because, they cover the face with diamonds, where here, you get to see the skeleton, and the diamonds are more baguette shaped, so it looks more, it's much more sleek. It looks more sleek. But it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Yeah, again, when you have the small diamonds, these I'm using the wrong word, but you have these kind of like baby diamonds, little baby diamonds. It looks tacky. Look at this. Compare this, right? The little baby diamonds compared to this, which are more like baguette. So they're more like square or rectangle shapes. So I think the square and rectangle shapes look more proper than the little round chimsy shapes. That's just, my opinion. Now let me see, where is this watch? And look at this, is fucking amazing. I mean, this stuff is amazing. Baron Snoo, you're in London. Where in London? Which neighborhood? Low-key record. Actually, I probably none of it is safe. I don't know. Well, first of all, here's the thing. If you're in London, right, the weather is relatively cool year-round. It's not like you're walking around in a tank top, even in the summer. I think they have like a week where it gets a little warm. But if you're in London, most likely you're going to be wearing a jacket. You're going to be wearing like a blazer jacket, whatever you want to call it, right? In other words, your sleeves are going to be covered. I mean, London is actually perfect jacket weather. I mean, I like the London weather as long as the sunshine. I actually like the weather. It's nice and cool, crisp. So look, I think if you're wearing a jacket in London, you can wear whatever you want, right? The only thing you got to watch out for is this, because I think a lot of these guys, watch the machete guys are the way it happens, from what I'm understanding, is that when you go to a restaurant, you go to one of these clubs, restaurants, or whatever, especially where there's a lot of like wealthy people. Like if you go to one of these clubs where there's a bunch of like what do you call it? Ballers, right? Guys spending money on champagne, bottle service or whatever. A lot of the waiters and the busboys are actually working in concert with these gangs. So what they do is they know what to look for. They see the watch on your wrist, right? So the busboy, the Albanian busboy, the Somalian busboy, they're all third worlders, Romanians, whatever. I mean, they take everybody there in London, right? So the busboy basically sees your watch. He goes back to the kitchen and he texts his buddy from Somalia or wherever, Algeria, Libya, these refugees, these migrants, right? So this guy basically, he takes a picture of your watch while you're not watching, right? And he texts it to his buddy. He actually takes a picture of you. He takes a picture of you is what he's going to do. Fuck your watch. He's going to snap a picture of you covertly. He texts it to his buddy. As you're leaving the restaurant or the club at 1 in the morning or 12, whatever it is, those guys are waiting for you. They're waiting outside. They know what you look like. So that's it. That's how it works. But if you're like a regular guy, I don't think you're gonna have any problems really. Like I think a lot of that stuff. I think Paul Thorpe was really very. I think he's a guy who's just chasing clicks. Okay. I think a lot of the so-called watch crime is just people basically being. And listen, I'm not going to blame them because there's no reason why somebody can't wear a short sleeve shirt in London. But that's the reality. You got, that's the thing. That's the world we're living in. If you're going to wear a short sleeve shirt, people will see it. Like you're walking down Bond Street, you're walking around Mayfair, whatever. Yeah, there's guys looking for that with a short sleeve shirt. But if you're wearing a jacket, nobody's going to see. A long sleeve jumper. What is that? Is that a sweater or something? I don't know. That's kind of, yeah. I don't think they're going to ask you if it's real. They're probably going to ask you what time it is or something and then grab the watch, right? And by the way, that stuff has been going on for decades. What's funny? I remember when I was a kid, I saw an old TV show. There was an old TV show. I don't know if any of you guys remember. There was an old show on TV. It was a popular show called L.A. Law. L.A. Law. It was in the 80s. So L.A. Law was basically it was one of the first shows on TV about lawyers. Yeah, like lawyer bullshit. The bullshit show is like a 1 hour TV show at night. And one of the episodes, one of the lawyers, she's married to another guy, and she gifts him a day date. The 36 yellow gold, right? and they're in a garage in LA. By the way, this is like Century City, so it's a safe area, right? They're in the garage walking. And a guy walks up to him in the garage and says, hey, man. He looks, like a regular guy. He says, hey, man, you got the time? He looks at his watch. He pulls out the watch. Looks at his watch. And then the guy, I don't know if he pulled out a gun or whatever. I think he pulled a gun and said, hey, give me your watch. That was it. So if anybody asks you the time, pull out your cell phone. Or just, I don't know what time it is, right? If people ask you what time it is, you don't know what time it is. That's just the reality. But I'm trying to find the Baguette watch, and where is it? Fuck. I don't know. I can't find it anymore. But look how beautiful these watches are. Now, man, I've actually never seen. I didn't realize they had so many. I've never really looked at this page on their website because, there's only one watch I'm interested in. I've never even seen this. Honestly, I've never looked this deep in their page. It's crazy. Black ceramic with gold screws. And look what they're doing with the dial. Oh, this is Carolina Bucci. That's the same one who did the other one. Now, this is a woman's watch, 34 millimeter. Although 34 is like a 36 normal. I mean, for women, I don't know, the black is a little too much, whatever, but amazing. I mean, this is really amazing. The dial is incredible. It's fucking amazing. Nobody's doing this. That's what you guys need to understand. So these guys, look at this. The white is a great color for women. They got the tapisserie. They got the pink gold. I mean, this is a stunning watch. I've never seen one in person. Amazing. I didn't know I never went this deep on their website. I didn't know they had this stuff. 34 million. Wow, they got a lot of women's watches. There you go. See, wow. Okay, so let me show you. So 37 millimeter. That's basically the size. That's the maximum that I could wear. I actually had no idea they were doing this in 37 millimeter. But the watch that I am interested in is my birthday's coming up. Just kidding. Okay, so the watch that I am actually interested in is this, which is 37 millimeter stainless ice blue dial, and look at the date is blue also, or in white. So this in either the blue, ice blue, or white. Where is the white? Oh, it's gone. They don't make it anymore. Okay, or this. You know, some people can say, oh, it's a chick watch, two-tone. But listen, I think it's an amazing watch in two-tone. I think it's great. I think the steel and the rose gold is a great look. And I missed the boat. I missed the boat on this. This was like 18 grand a couple of years ago, secondary market used. And now they're at a premium. They're like 35 grand secondary market. So yeah, it was 18 grand just a little while back. They were selling at a discount to the market. Yeah, really interesting. So where is the I'm looking for the baguettes. Okay, it's not there, but you know what is the watch is basically imagine this, whatever, in ice blue. It's ice blue, but instead of the hour markers being, they're like ice, they're baguettes. So that is that's basically the setup. And I think that looks great. I think it looks great. It's not too much. Again, on the bezel, it's a little too, it makes it more of a feminine watch. So that's the deal. All right, punters, that is the deal. We're going to wrap it up. I just wanted to give you my final thoughts on the AP, the new release, the direction they're going in, because I have to give them credit. No matter how much I dislike the management, their attitude, their whole thing, the watches are amazing. The designs are incredible. And they're really pushing the whole watch game forward. And it may have a negative impact on Patek, on Nautilus. I think it will have a negative impact on Nautilus. It'll have a positive impact on vintage Royal Oak. And that's the bottom line. That's the whole bottom line. I just realized that the bottom line of the whole live stream I'm doing here, the whole message is keep your eye on vintage Royal Oak. Those prices are going to be going up, up, up. Not crazy, but they're going to be pushing up. Nautilus, I believe, is going to be pushing down, down, down. So we're going to see a divergence. And these guys are doing incredible, incredible things. So my hat's off to whoever the team is, whoever's doing the stuff, whoever's putting these projects into production. My hat's off to you. All right, guys, thank you, and I'll see you all on the next one. And let me see, do we have, that's it. Okay.